Out of all the hundreds of world-famous podcasts, this is one of them. It's the Dave and Doc Podcast.
Masks optional.
Hello, hello.
Happy day, happy day.
Happy day, happy day.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Rolling.
Show
in my 6'4", 27?
27.
27.
Look at that. I remember when I was 27.
I do too. I was in med school.
At 27? You're still in med school?
I just started med school.
I was deep into my porn career.
So what's your middle name? What's your middle name?
It's Alan.
And so what was the name of the first street that you lived on when you were a kid? They don't have streets in
I was going to say, we don't have street. That's a 911 thing. So I think it was Hillside.
Allen Hillside.
So I heard that differently. I heard it was your first pet.
Oh.
And your mother's maiden name. So mine would have been Bart Stillwell, which is the greatest porn name.
So that's better. That's a lot better.
Alan Hillside.
Mine would have been Peppy Bennett. That does not strike fear into the hearts of
starring
John Holmes. John Holmes is going, yep, you're not taking my jobs. No way. Peppy Bennett. I mean, they made a sign for me, P.B., but that's about it.
Jenna Jameson's like, I'm working with who? Peppy Bennett?
And the broadcast is already gone all to Hades. There you go.
That's right. It went south.
That's it.
Very quick.
Really quick.
Speaking of porn.
It's okay. It's okay.
Hey,
we're
folks,
gonna resurrect.
It is the Dave and Doc Podcast.
It is.
You didn't know that.
It still is.
And I'm Dave.
And I'm Doc.
And this is show number 27. We welcome you to the podcast. Thanks for all the folks that's been listening. Particularly
Frank Gore was 20. Oh, was he 27 or 47? Frank Gore. What number is he? No.
Frank Gore was...
no, he was not 27.
No.
Never mind.
He was...
Dang it.
I don't know, 22, 21?
Moving on. I don't remember.
I don't remember.
I thought somebody...
He's going to retire as a 49er. That's the main thing.
That's it. That's pretty good. Anyway.
So, hey, thanks for listening and thanks for watching. We've had like a ton of people watching and listening this week. So
yes.
That's...
See, we were out, man.
I know, right?
We got to keep it rolling.
People were worried. They were like, oh, I gotta.
They're like, y'all okay? Y'all okay? What's going on?
we got the...
We're okay.
We got all kinds of issues. But hey, if you are listening, you're listening on a platform.
Yes.
Here's some others, just in case you don't like this platform, or they try to fire you as a user, just in case.
Pick another one.
Another one.
It's easy.
Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Stitcher. Our friends at Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Pandora, TuneIn, Alexa, Podcast Addict, Pocket Cast, Podcast Index, and Overcast, and all those other casts. And also on YouTube, if you go to YouTube, you can just search Dave and Doc, and there we will be. Or you can just go to the website. That's pretty simple. And that's daveanddoc.com. That's Dave, A-N-D, Doc, D-O-C.com.
You brought it back. You know, you hadn't said it in a minute.
I hadn't said it in a little bit.
I was just missing it.
And we'd appreciate if you would go to the website and send us a note. Say, hey, I enjoy listening to you guys, or I don't enjoy listening to you guys. You guys are idiots. That's perfectly fine too.
Yeah,
we don't mind.
We accept all communication.
That's right.
You know,
it doesn't matter what it is, good or bad.
That's right.
Good or bad, we'll accept.
That's right.
But it is show 27.
Just don't make any mama jokes like, you know, your mama's so fat her leg broke and gravy poured out. You know, I mean, don't do that. We might take that personal.
Oh,
I'm just saying. Anyway.
I love your mama jokes. Your mama was walking backwards to the room, and all I heard was beep, beep, beep.
Your mama's so stank the roaches check in, but they don't check out. It's bad.
Something funny that we can't play on the air because we try to keep this somewhat PG-13,
right?
Or NC-17,
right? No, not with a name like Peppy Bennett.
But a friend of mine sent me some Batman videos where like it's Batman and Bane from The Dark Knight Rises.
Yes.
And you know, and Ra's al Ghul's daughter comes in or whatever, and it's
Miranda Tate.
So it's all
is her fake name.
So it's different actors, of course, and they're acting out the scene. But I laughed till I couldn't breathe. What's it called? It's called Batman Has a Dirty Mind. So you folks look it up on your own if you want to. But it is. I'll send it to you. But it is. Listen, I'm telling you right now, I laughed, and I hadn't laughed that hard in a long time. It's just the conversation between those three is so because. Even that movie
it's like clips of them, but they've done voiceover.
No, it's actors reenacting the scene.
Oh, okay, but it's not actually them. It's not.
Right, no, it's not. It's not Christian Bale
or Tom Hardy.
No,
okay.
They were unable to get Tom Hardy to come and do the show.
Okay. Gotcha,
that's a bad Bane impression, but there is not a good one.
Well, hello, Batman. Right. Yeah. He got super big for that role.
I'm going to kick your ass.
And apparently, I think he had it kind of gave him some joint problems, really? For real. Like
think he roided up or something.
I don't know if he did that, but he was
because that's what I'm doing.
But he was a big dude. I mean, our frames are not meant necessarily to carry that much weight, so you end up with a lot of problems. A lot of those bodybuilders, man, they end up in a lot of pain later.
We were just talking about that before the broadcast.
We were right. I know.
One day we're gonna have to do the Dave and Doc outtakes.
Outtakes. I really.
That'll be our last broadcast because
of course it will. Because like, well,
that's it.
Where y'all at? Well, we're at church, like permanently. we got a lot of making up to do. Yes, that's it. That's it.
Hey, a quick shout out to our family representative and contractor, Chelsea. She's probably going to be listening to this later, and she's minus one bone.
Minus one bone.
She's minus one bone.
So she has 205. That's what you're telling me.
I thought it was 208. Is it
206?
206?
206 total bones.
Are you sure? I'm just kidding.
Swear. Promise. It's actually funny you say that. So I mean, obviously we learned that. I mean, you learned that.
I always thought it was 208.
But actually, we read the Dr. Seuss the body book, and it's inside your outside machine, and it actually talks about your body. And my girls love it. I mean, they think it's pretty awesome.
I thought you read it in college. That was your.
Oh yeah, man. That's how I used to study for my test. Let's read Dr. Seuss. Here we go.
Sam I am.
That's right. I will not eat them. I will not eat green eggs and ham. I will not eat them, Sam I am. One fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. This one has a little car. This one has a little star.
In America, we train our doctors with Dr. Seuss.
Of course, Dr. Seuss has fallen under some controversy.
God, of course.
Anyway, we'll leave that alone.
Everybody falls under controversy now. Doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter what you say.
Truth.
Even the good stuff you say.
I mean, people realize Dr. Seuss was Jewish, right? I mean,
right.
It's like,
right.
Really? I don't think he was trying to mess anybody up. That's ridiculous. I mean, he obviously faced some anti-Semitism in his life, so he understood. That's what.
Isn't it terrible? Like when people try to do good things, and we just tear them down.
And like I said, his daughter was like in tears talking about saying, "I really don't think my dad was a racist." It's like because he wasn't.
Like Doctor
because he wrote On Beyond Zebra.
Like Dr. Atkins, right?
Yeah.
He was fat.
He was.
He was fat and he died.
He did.
And
he did.
But he's helped millions of people lose weight.
True.
It's not the greatest diet in the world, and you can't sustain it.
Right.
Okay. But it works.
Yeah.
Ketosis is a thing.
It's not necessarily the most healthy.
It's not the most healthy thing, but it's a thing.
Or healthiest thing. Yes. Yes.
I mean, when you first met me, I was a fat ass. To be
fluffy, as Gabriel Iglesias would say.
I was fluffy.
I'm fat, I'm fluffy.
And I did Atkins.
Why do you drink diet soda? So I can eat regular cake. That's one of my favorite lines he drops.
But, I mean, so like I did Atkins for a while. You can't sustain that sort of thing. Like diet and exercise is still the best.
Correct.
But
you can drop some weight quickly.
Oh yeah.
But it does. I mean, when you get into the ketoacidosis, it can make you feel foggy. It can start damaging organs and things. So you really have to be careful with it. I mean, the keto diets, I mean, you're talking about only eating, 40 grams of carbs a day.
My penis fell off.
You can. Well, that might have been.
I had to have it reattached.
Something else. You weren't married to Lorena Bobbitt, were you?
Oh no, maybe something did happen.
That was good.
There is a night that I can't remember.
Is it right? Felt a tug, right? That's what John Wayne said.
That's what he said.
I felt a tug. I'm like, mother. I think it would have been more than that. Just so you know. And on that note, this segment is brought to you by John Wayne Bobbitt. Dad jokes for life.
Dad of the year, John Wayne Bobbitt. He had kids, didn't he?
I think he
did.
He have kids? Yeah, I think they did. So I
guess beforehand.
Had this freak out moment, and I said to myself, "Self, am I the only one that my wife has ever dated?" And the problem was, when I spoke to her, she said, "Unfortunately, yes. The others were all 9s and 10s." That's a good one. That's a real one.
Lindsay could probably say that too.
Right. That's all right. I'm good. All right. What vegetable is cool? These are just random ones because I'm feeling random today. What vegetable is cool, but not that cool?
I don't know.
A radish.
My God.
I actually like that one. Oh,
I hate vegetables.
You do hate. That's true. Yes, you did not find that enjoyable.
That's true.
How do you teach your kids about taxes?
How do you teach your kids about taxes? I don't know.
Eat 38% of their ice cream.
You can't do that with the princesses.
No. Oh no.
You don't mess with their ice cream.
So real quick, and then I got one more. I was gonna. So Kate, they got a little junior frosty the other day after gymnastics. Because they've been working hard.
Yeah.
Well, Kate left her junior frosty out, and it melted completely. Yeah, okay.
Right.
So it's like 10 o'clock at night, and I say to myself, "Self, this thing is like room temperature. Self, do I put it back into the freezer?" And there's only maybe half of it left. Okay.
Right.
Or self, do I just do what I think most guys would do and drink it real quick and throw it away?
Yeah.
So I did what I felt like most people in my position would do, and drank it the way. The next day, she wanted the rest of it.
Oh.
And I felt about this big.
Yeah.
So then she got ice cream with chocolate syrup that Mama mixed up with a spoon, and I was like, really?
Yeah.
So I didn't feel too bad for her.
No.
They're mercenary, though, man.
You don't mess with their ice cream.
No. Well, I mean, and just, or anything. It's like, well, so-and-so, they got to do this, and I didn't get to do this. And it's like, They were talking about how Bennett didn't have to brush his teeth because they were aggravated about that last night. And I was like, he doesn't have teeth. And of course, Laura, being astute, she goes, well, that's fine. If you want to give up your ice cream and your cookies and all your sweets, you might not have to brush your teeth as much either. And they were like, mortified. Well, see, I was like, and there you go.
And see, this is why I don't have daughters, because I'd been like, listen, you're a princess. You do whatever you want to do.
Well, and I kind of like to operate there, and it's hard. I mean, Callan has had 2 cavities already.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a big deal. So,
yeah.
And she has, like, I don't know how to say this, like deeper teeth. Like there's the way that it's easier for food to get stuck. Like I have like I don't really know how.
I know. So it's not
like mine's not like a flat shelf. Like we have some
there's some crevices.
There's some crevice, and so it's hard. And so I think that's probably what happened with her. Kate does not seem to have that, so I don't think she's going to have to battle that. But it, unfortunately, Callan got stuck with some of that. And I mean, she brushes her teeth, and we help. And anyway, this is what it is. So my last joke, because we got to keep rolling. So, what do you call 2 monkeys who share an Amazon Prime account?
Oh no, primates. Oh look, I got it! Yes.
That's it. We're retiring the dad jokes. Dave answered.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Awesome.
Thank you, folks.
That's awesome.
I figured it out.
That's the thing.
I'm going to do Wordle today, and I'm going to win.
You're on fire.
I'm going to win $1.2 billion.
That's it. That's right. Oh, the lottery.
The lottery.
Oh, the lottery.
The lottery. You
helping support education.
Yeah, right. I'm sure it is.
Portions of these proceeds go to.
Here's what I don't understand. Why do I still have to pay tuition for a kid if it's I listen. this is more of a political rant that I'm not going to get into.
Here it goes.
But
you ain't getting away from this.
But this lottery money, where it all goes to education and all this stuff, someone is full of something.
Bunk.
Yeah.
Bunk, as my mom would say.
But so
Minnie Pearl.
so we
No, that wasn't Minnie Pearl. That was Mama on Mama's Family.
Mama's Family.
Lawrence. What was her name? Dressed up like Mama. Her last name
Vicky.
Vicky Lawrence.
Vicky.
Yes.
Because she was on the Carol Burnett show
Yes.
too. Yeah.
Yes. But she'd call it bunk. That's
Which, by the way, folks, if you're looking for something funny, the Carol Burnett show was hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
It was absolutely Harvey Korman, Tim Conway, Vicki
Yes.
Lawrence,
Yes.
Carol Burnett, and whoever else was on the show. And if you ever watch Saturday Night Live, some of the funnier things about Saturday Night Live is when, particularly with Jimmy Fallon, because he just could not stop laughing. And that's why he stopped doing scenes, because Lorne Michaels hates it when the characters break. And he did it all the time. But that's one of the funnier things when they just can't stop laughing. He's in a hot tub with Will Ferrell once, and he cannot stop laughing at Will Ferrell because Will Ferrell does not break character.
No.
And it's hilarious. But if you want to see that kind of stuff, Tim Conway and Harvey Korman, you should just crack each other up, and it was hilarious.
And I actually like that.
I do too. I think
because
it's funny.
that's some funny stuff, and they're laughing because it's like they're allowed to have fun too. But yeah, Lorne Michaels, it's well known.
No, he does not like it when.
I think Jimmy Fallon's doing okay though.
I mean, and Lorne is actually producing that show. So, yeah,
it didn't hurt him.
It did not.
I don't think it hurt him.
It did not hurt him. There you go. So I mean, go back.
Little tangential side fact.
All you young folks out there, go back and watch the Carol Burnett show.
It's good stuff. It really is.
It's good stuff. It's good, wholesome fun.
It is. It really is.
It's very wholesome. It's very PG.
Yeah.
Very PG.
Almost G.
Unlike this show.
Oh, no.
We tried.
It went down. Peppy Bennett.
Peppy Bennett.
Bart Stillwell. BS.
I'm Bart Stillwell.
Just call me BS.
I'm hung like a turtle.
Oh my god.
So
about that lottery.
About the lottery.
1.2. What is it?
$0.2 billion. I actually had Lindsay go get a ticket because we get one ticket a year, and it's when it's like.
Oh, she went big though, man. She bought 3.
She bought 3 tickets. It's like $9.
You're gonna get it.
I said, I was like, what? Could you not have just bought 10 or 20 or something? They're $3. I mean, really? And she's like, and you have to have cash,
right? Because we talked about that before.
Yeah, you have to have cash.
You're on the road trip.
That's right. We're on the road trip, and I'm like, I need to pay for tuition, so I'm going to stop and get a lottery ticket. We're on our way back from Tennessee Tech, but so everybody's had these conversations about what would you do if you won a chunk of money like that. So I thought it'd be interesting for you and I to have that conversation.
Yes.
Because I have definite plans for mine, the money that I'll never see. But I thought that'd be fun. I mean, I thought
You're going to retire in Virginia on the beach and go to Captain George's every day and take several naps.
That's just my regular plan.
Oh, that's without
lottery.
Oh, so you champion the regular plan if we won lottery money.
Oh yeah, then it changes a little bit. It changes
so the first thing is the bite of taxes that you take. So you take the payout, and then it's like 60% of the money gets.
Would you take the payout? Because Because I don't
want the annuity. No.
Because I don't have faith that in 20 years the lottery is still going to be around.
Right.
So I want my money.
Or I could get hit by a bus, and I don't know what that looks like if you don't fill out the paperwork right.
I call J.G. Wentworth.
Jesus.
I want cash now. Call J.G. Wentworth. Who the hell is J.G. Wentworth? I want to have him on the podcast. Hey, J.G.
I can't. I got nothing. I've got nothing.
It's J.G. Wentworth.
I don't know. I really don't.
I don't know who he is.
I mean, maybe it's just a made up name for the corporation.
It might
know.
be.
I mean, whatever is called J.G. Wentworth. 877 cash now or whatever it is.
877 cash now.
Yeah, that's it.
877
They
cash
need
now.
us to do the voiceovers.
They do.
They could become a potential sponsor.
Good. Hi, I have an annuity from a lawsuit. I broke my leg at a department store, And them bastards trying to pay me over 45 years. I need my money now. J.G. Whitworth, help me. I don't think they'd hire me.
Probably not. So, but yeah, I would take the payout. I would take the payout.
Yeah, definitely the payout.
I would take the payout, and whatever that comes out to be. And then, like I said, bunch of tax. You're ending up, probably somewhere 350, 400 million. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, hello. That's a significant amount of money. So then the question is, what do you do? Well, I think the first thing you got to remember is
you can stop pole dancing on the weekend.
So the side action
on the moonlighting.
I'm able to give up the side action because my hip, particularly my left hip's starting to hurt. And I'm tired of dancing to "I'm in Love with a Stripper." It just it's uncomfortable. Anyway,
I've heard "Turn the Page" too many times.
Right.
I'm just tired of hearing it.
Oh my goodness.
Can't take it anymore.
And so, I think what I would do, I would make sure that anyone close to us is taken care of if there's something going on that they have needs or whatever. I think charitable donation is not a bad way to go.
Just to throw this out there, I have needs.
That's what I'm saying. I know, and I'm sure there'd be not you all, but I'm sure there'd be people coming. Don't you remember me from kindergarten? I peed my pants beside you on our cot. I used to dookie on myself in first grade.
That's right.
My name's Chris.
We used to call you the Mad Crapper. That's right. I remember you.
Right? It's like, I'm sorry. I don't really remember you. But, doing some good with it, I think that...
Yeah.
I would not necessarily work less days per se. I would definitely make sure family things like I would... Because sometimes I can't take off. You just can't take off. But right. I think I would make sure
you wouldn't have to work.
Right. Well, I would still work because I enjoy being a physician. I really do.
Yeah.
The paperwork and the computer demands and when you hit this string where, sometimes people just get a little too entitled. That makes it not fun. And I know we're going to talk about things. There are just some people and it's just it's like, really? I don't understand. I don't understand. Anyway, so I would still work a similar amount. I would probably see a few less patients per day because I would honestly wouldn't mind getting home a little earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. To have time with my family.
Well, you'd still have me as a patient.
Of course. No, I'm not getting rid of anybody. I'm just saying, like,
you're not going to fire patients.
Instead of seeing somewhere between, basically right now I'm seeing 21 to 24 a day.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That's a lot a day.
And we still have demand.
Particularly if I'm one of them.
I get people complaining every day that they can't get in. And that's a good problem to have, but I feel bad about it. I really do.
Of course, because you want to see everybody.
That's right.
Yeah,
I do. And that's the other thing is I do. And it's just not possible. So, I probably would drop down the total number. And people who didn't like that, I guess they would fire me and go on. But I think the vast majority would still come see me because I'm still available to be seen. It's just
have them go see the GI doctor. They'll fire them for you.
Jesus.
We'll get into that in a minute. Sorry.
So I probably wouldn't see as many just because, like, okay, the demand, I understand if you're mad and you don't like what's going on. But to take a little bit of the stress off,
yeah,
I probably would see a few less people. And the other thing, I've always wanted a beach house, so I think I would buy a beach house.
Yeah,
and I would also buy the GMC Yukon XL Denali that I really want instead of the van that my wife bought. And I'd buy a brand new one, and I wouldn't care.
Of course not.
And I would keep my truck. I'm not getting rid of it.
No.
We're not trading.
I made that mistake.
I love my truck.
I made that mistake a couple years ago.
I just want two cars. I just want two big vehicles.
And I'm going to fix that as soon as the Lightning's ready.
Right. So that's it. Two.
Yeah.
Two.
That's it.
With some dubs.
With some
just because. Just because. That's it.
So
I might put some hydraulic. No, I'm gonna put hydraulics.
So for me, first of all, I got to show you this. I wrote this down. I'm not going to share this with everybody because we can't, because we'll get in trouble. But you said entitled, and this is kind of what I thought about.
Oh shoot!
Inside joke, folks. I'm very sorry. We might hurt someone's feelings.
Yeah.
And listen.
Yeah, there'd be some collateral damage.
Let me tell you this. I want you folks to know this before I start talking about what I would do with my lottery winnings. This guy over here, Doc, as he's announced himself, he's an actual doctor, so we think.
Right.
We're not sure.
Vistaprint.
And you know that the little emojis down there, the memoji with Doc and everything. That guy over there, he actually keeps me more straight and narrow than you realize. Because the shit that I would talk about, I'm telling you, like, because I go back to in my 20s when I'm doing morning radio, and like I just didn't care.
Sure.
Because I just didn't care, and like I would talk about. Let's just throw some stuff out there. I talk about family. I would talk about friends. And most of the time people were like, that's funny. And sometimes every once in a while somebody would say, could you not talk about me? And I'm like, sure, I won't. And then I would talk about them more.
Of course.
Particularly people I was dating and everything. Lindsay would have already left at this point. So
yes.
I want you folks to know that this guy forces me to hold that in. And that's a good thing. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Because things that I wrote down on this notebook, I would just be talking about. And it would be a lot of collateral damage to deal with. He's not wrong. So, but he agrees with me 100% what I wrote down.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah. I do.
I do. Let's start a fake business.
We're laughing. We're in character and we're laughing. Lauren Michaels would be so disappointed.
That's right. That it would be.
Get yourself together.
So I would take the one-time payout.
Yes.
I'd make sure the kids.
Yes. Yes. I think I might. I think I said
you did. You did. You made
basically everybody. Yes.
I'd make sure the kids are taken care of. We would have zero debt.
Yes.
And then I would start looking to people that have been in my life for a long time, or friends of mine that not even if they didn't have a need, just like, hey, here's some cash, like
right.
We'd probably give some money to a church, or to. And one of the things I've always wanted to do, and I mean I've actually just wanted to do this, is start a daycare, and not necessarily to make. I even have a name for the daycare. So I actually wanted to do this for a long time.
This is a new one, folks. I didn't know this.
Oh, so this has been a thing for a long time because, Lindsay, who used to work for the Department of Children's Services, with her credentials, I would feel like a lot of people would come to this daycare because there's a former DCS employee.
Absolutely.
So, right. And so, and I like kids. I like helping kids. And I thought it'd be great to have a daycare. And if there were special situations and family situations where they couldn't afford daycare or whatever, be able to help those families too. So I thought that would be something really cool too.
Yes.
And I feel like with that kind of cash, I could do something like that.
Yes.
The biggest thing, the 100% biggest thing that I would do, the 100% biggest thing in the world that I would do is make sure that I had an account, set aside, that the interest in that account would pay for me to go to the Super Bowl every year.
Oh,
because that is non-negotiable.
Sporting,
non-negotiable.
Yeah, that's.
But I think I would still keep. I would
some sort of investment. That's actually really cool.
I would either keep working at my current job, or if we started the daycare, I would work at the daycare.
Yes, right. Still
not dealing with the kids. I want to do the business side.
Right. Still do.
I mean, honestly, listen. I love to help kids, but I don't really want to be involved. Like, you know what I mean? I coach football, and it's herding cats, folks. It's herding cats. So I love the kids, but I ain't teaching a class or nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really geared. I'm not geared for that necessarily either.
Right.
I mean, when we helped out at Sunday school, and Laura knows the lesson. Laura has the snacks prepared. I play with the kids, and when all else fails, like Laura had to take a couple kids to the bathroom, and the kids were getting ready, I just let them all tickle me. because I didn't know what else to do.
Well, yes. Yeah,
and I mean, they thought that was awesome. And so now, every time they see me, they want to tickle me. And I'm like, well,
they were all putting stuff in my pocket. That's what they were doing. They were walking around putting stuff like toys in my pocket.
There you go.
Thought it was funny.
Yeah.
And they were like climbing on me and everything. And I'm like, okay.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know what else to do here. It's like
somebody grabbed my hair though. That was
no good.
Don't touch my hair. Just yeah, I can't do that. Yeah.
Well, at least you're taller. That's harder. For me, it's not.
Well, I was down on my knees.
4-year-olds can touch my hair.
That would be. Jeez.
Coach Dave, why are you so short? Why are you so stupid? 8-year-old. But yeah, so
you ever seen Remember the Titans? We're going to hit the drills hard today. Water makes you weak.
That's right. Water washes blood out of that uniform. You don't get blood
on my uniform. I love that. So
I watch it once a year, when football season starts. I always watch it.
Oh, it's an excellent movie. Excellent movie.
So that's really it. I mean, we wouldn't be in debt. I would buy. I've always wanted a Corvette.
There you go.
That's the only Chevy that I'll ever buy ever again.
There you go.
Because I've been done with General Motors for a long time.
There you go.
But a Corvette. Yeah.
I could get that.
It'll be a candy apple red Corvette.
Oh my! Look at you.
That's what it's going to be.
Look at you.
And whatever sound system's in there, I'm dumping it, and I'm putting JBL speakers. I'm doing what I want to do, and it's going to be awesome.
Now the Shelby GT, like a classic Shelby GT, like an Eleanor from Ron and C-Set. Now I might get one of those too, just because
that'd be fun.
Yeah, like a classic, the Shelby GT. I love.
Speaking of vehicles, though, like I ordered my Lightning over a year ago. And I just and Chelsea ordered a Bronco, right?
Yeah.
And she gets her Bronco like next month. And I'm like, hey, tell hubby to get on the phone with Ford and say, hey, Ford,
what's the deal?
Where's Dave's Lightning at? I'm excited about my Lightning.
Is it white Lightning?
It is not. It's going to be red.
Red Lightning.
Of course.
Oh.
Of course it is. Everything I have is red.
Is it like a garnet red or is it like a...
It's a flashier red. It's not really a garnet.
Is it like a 49er red?
It's kind of like if you're watching this, that red.
Oh.
Yeah. The background there for the Super Bowl tickets. None of the games that I went to. By the way.
But you got them.
But I got the tickets.
That's pretty cool.
I don't know if you ever saw that or not.
Oh, yeah. I did.
It's the tickets. It's the ticket stubs for all those
I did
games.
See that.
That's new.
One is offset, which I didn't know if there was special meaning because I haven't ever looked at the date. Sorry, my vision is not good enough. I never ask you about that because my thing they'd have to be.
So Lindsay did this for me, and at least it's the middle one, so it kind of looks like it's intentional, but I don't think it was intentional. I think she needs to go back and fix it.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Because
I thought maybe there was like something special about that number 3. Are they in order?
Of course they are. Yeah.
Okay. So the third
16,
one,
19, 23, 24, and 29.
So 23 was that
was the Bengals.
And then 24, was that the Broncos? No.
Yeah.
That was. Okay.
Yeah, 24 was the Broncos.
And then the Chargers was the last one?
Yeah, 49-26.
Okay.
Steve Young threw 6 touchdown passes.
Yeah, Stan Humphries was the QB for San Diego.
He sure was.
Take that. See, I'm paying attention.
Look at you.
Man, I was upset when Elway got the poop beat out of him by them.
That was that game.
That was bad.
They scored first though. I think they kicked a field goal and
it
was 3-0.
They did the same thing against the Giants and they did the same thing against the Redskins.
Yeah.
And got whooped in all 3 games.
Yeah.
But then they beat the Packers.
Well, they had to get a Shanahan is what they had to get.
Yeah, that's true.
Mike Shanahan was a genius.
Yes,
he was an offensive genius, and
and it never hurt to have a Terrell Davis.
It did not, and an Elway.
Yeah.
I mean,
they always had the Elway. They had to get the Terrell Davis.
They did.
Sammy Winder wasn't going to get it. Wasn't going to get it done.
No. But the Shanahans. That's football.
No, that.
And again, I know I'm a Niners fan, but I'm still a Kyle Shanahan fan because that guy's an offensive.
I get it. No, I totally get it.
Total genius.
I get it.
It's like Monty Kiffin on defense. I mean, like there's just that guy. I mean, he's just he was a defensive genius.
Yes.
His son's a jackass, but
did they beat the Bengals twice?
They did.
So
yeah.
is the first one the Bengals,
Super
the
Bowl
second one is the
16
Dolphins,
and 24.
and then the second one's the Dolphins.
Or 23, sorry.
And then the Bengals.
Super Bowl 16 and 23.
Again,
yeah.
and then the Broncos, and then the Chargers.
Yes.
See, I'm here for you, man.
Look at you. Look at
go.
you.
I mean, I'm trying. Tickets.
Danny Marino.
Lottery
Super
tickets.
Bowl 19.
Super Bowl. The only one he ever went to.
That's right. And he got his
He got whooped.
his ass handed
Oh,
to
it
him.
was bad. It was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad. It was bad. I dated a girl in college. It was a huge Miami Dolphins.
Actually, that's the one up here in the corner, I think. Top.
Yeah, when they're diving, and that's Roger Craig going for the end. Yeah,
It was bad.
yeah.
Danny Marino.
Now,
versus Joe
Dan
Montana.
did come through that 85 Bears team, and he did beat them because they should have been undefeated. And that's why Miami is still the only undefeated team.
How
for
ironic,
the whole
though,
season,
right? I mean, just like they
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, I know.
they sucked, but they kept the Bears from being
having- I
undefeated.
know.
And the Bears should have been undefeated then.
Oh yeah.
That team was
Lorenzo Hampton was the running back, and he was number 27 for Miami. I'm pretty sure. I think that's right because I used to pretend I was him because I had a Marino and an Elway jersey.
yeah.
And I had a Miami Dolphins like little Huffy football outfit.
You didn't have a
That
Joe
wasn't-
Montana
that
jersey?
wasn't. I didn't.
I'm confused.
I was not a Joe Montana fan. Joe Montana.
You weren't a Joe Montana fan. He's the greatest quarterback that's ever lived. One of the greatest people that's ever lived. One of the greatest humans on earth.
I don't know.
You don't think he was one of the greatest quarterbacks that ever lived?
Oh yes. No. There's no disputing that. So here's a tangent.
Don't make me stand up.
I've been watching The Captain. I don't know if you've watched The Captain.
I have not watched it yet, but it's on my list.
Yes, you should watch The Captain with Derek Jeter, the story of Derek Jeter. And
Love Derek Jeter.
you know what I love about Montana? And this is kind of, yes, Hall of Fame quarterback. Excellent. Had great numbers and everything else. But you know what was the most important thing for Joe Montana?
What's that?
Not being a superstar, winning.
Yeah.
And I respect that. And that was kind of Jeter. I mean, Jeter put up great numbers, but Alex Rodriguez was a better ball player than Jeter.
Sure.
But he wasn't a better overall player.
Right.
Like in terms of teammate and everything else.
That's right.
Not better. And that's why Jeter has 5 rings.
Yeah.
Right? And A-Rod's never going to get in the Hall of Fame because he used PEDs.
Right.
It's not going to happen. He's not getting in, and Jeter was first time, obviously. I mean, and I was not a Yankees fan because I was a Sox fan.
Oh.
Oh yeah. Now the Sox are kind of like the evil empire to me, like that whole scandal where they were stealing. I mean, I know people steal signs up. That kind of soured me.
It did me
a little
too.
little bit. It's kind of
But
like
I was always a Yankees fan anyway.
it's kind of like the Astros. I've never liked the Astros, and then I really don't like the Astros. I'm like, y'all cheated. So I actually, it's kind of a rebirth there.
New England Patriots.
If I hadn't liked the Sox, and this was back when they weren't winning, like the curse of the Bambino. I mean, all those things. I didn't like the Yankees because of that, and I'm like, man, I should have probably liked the Yankees. Of course, and I know they kind of played to the strengths of the team, but like those teams were awesome. But what was important to Jeter said this in the interview, and he goes, doesn't matter if you were better ball player, who was winning.
Right.
We were winning.
Yeah.
And not just winning games, we were winning World Series championships. And so I mean that's hard to argue with.
It's because you and I both agree on this that Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player to ever play.
Yes, it's not even close.
But what Magic Johnson did with the Lakers in making everybody around him better,
yes, absolutely,
is something that I think gets lost in sports quite a bit because Magic was his nickname was Magic, folks. There's a reason for that.
And if you really look back, he and Larry Bird kind of saved the NBA and kind of took it to that next level. And then Michael comes in, and the rest is kind of history. And I mean, it's a completely different game now. We've talked about that over
and
and
then
over.
LeBron ruins it. 100% ruins it. Thanks, LeBron. I stopped watching the NBA because of you. I did.
I mean, he's a phenomenal player, but some of the antics and things and all that, So but you're right. No, Magic Johnson was the ultimate teammate.
Because I can tell you, James Worthy would not be a household name without Magic Johnson.
Kareem would be.
Kareem 100%
was legendary. Still is legendary. But yeah.
Byron Scott. Who would know Byron Scott?
Agreed.
Without Magic Johnson. I
agree. Magic made everybody better.
So there's something about those players like a Jeter that makes everybody better. A-Rod, definitely a better ball player, superstar. I don't know that he made anybody better.
No, that was the thing, and they talk about this kind of in these early episodes. You know, A-Rod even at one point was like, I don't think I'm going to do interviews with Derek anymore. I just want to do them myself.
Yeah,
because he wanted all the spotlight. He wanted to be a star, and Jeter wanted to be the best. Basically,
he's an investor now. Right?
I know. Oh my!
He was on Shark Tank.
I know.
And like they were like tonight on Shark Tank.
I know.
You know, Alex Rodriguez. I'm like, what?
I know. Again, hey, you know what?
He's not an investor.
Derek Jeter, 10 out of 10.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Derek Jeter, one of the best.
I feel like I kind of missed a little bit of, just because they had that dynasty and I really wasn't rooting for him. I feel like I should have. It's kind of like when I watched The Last Dance with the Bulls. Mm-hmm. And I was huge into Jordan and Scotty.
Me too.
You know, and it just awoke all of that. Derek Jeter was a bad MFer. Like he wanted to cut your heart out.
Can we go back to why you don't like Joe Montana? Because I'd like to explore
It's not that. So
I need to explore this a little more. Because
here's where I think
this might be our last podcast. This might be it.
So he's definitely one of the top quarterbacks of all time. Here's what sticks in my mind. Okay. This is terrible.
Okay.
This is terrible.
All right.
So I remember my dear sweet mother.
Yes.
Who rarely ever said anything negatively about people.
Yeah.
And she commented on the multiple marriages of Joe Montana. And I don't even think like she even meant anything by it. But something about that sticks in my head. And I just wasn't a 49ers fan. And so by default, it was like, I don't root for the 49ers. I don't really care for this guy.
Yeah.
So it's not, he never really did anything, but like I didn't want him to win. It's like the same thing. I didn't want the Yankees to win.
Yeah.
But Derek Jeter's phenomenal.
Right.
Right?
Was Joe married more than twice?
I think. I don't know.
I just think it was twice.
Brother, you know more about this than I do. I don't remember.
So he knocked up a girl in college.
Maybe that's okay. Well, my mother definitely would not have been a fan of that. Let's just
knocked up a girl in college.
Let's just get that. Plus, he went to Notre Dame. I never root for Notre Dame. Nothing out of Notre Dame. I root for nothing.
I mean, you talk about elitist.
Nothing. Right? No kidding. Oh my God. Right. I mean, you know what I'm saying? No, nothing. Right. No. So I think it's just a combination of those things.
Yeah.
And I mean, he whooped my dude. I mean, John Elway. Like, John Elway was my guy. I'm a young boy, and they whooped him.
55-10.
Yay. I mean, that's bad. And then I remember Icky Woods and the Icky Shuffle.
Yeah.
And James Brooks and Chris Collinsworth and Boomer Esiason. And stupid John Taylor runs a slant and freaking he puts it on the money and they beat it. Was it 28-24? Didn't they win by 4?
They won by 4. What was the score?
I think it was 28-24. I think, or maybe it's 24-20. I can't remember.
24-20.
Maybe it's 24-20. But literally, I'm like, they're not going to stop him.
No.
I know this, but I was miserable. I was like, stupid John Taylor.
I am wearing a shirt that says the Niners.
Yes, I know.
I just realized that. I forgot.
And then I'm sitting there going, and then after the fact, like he leaves, goes to the Chiefs, which is whatever.
And almost got to the Super Bowl.
And almost got to the Super Bowl. So phenomenal QB, Hall of Famer. Right up there. I mean, he's in, you got to put him in the top 5. I mean, it's,
Oh, I put him in the top 5.
I know, you put him in the top 1.
I put him in the top 1.
As the one of one. Jerry Rice is one of one. Okay.
Of all the players ever, yes.
You can't,
I think he's the best football player that's ever played.
Agreed.
I just don't think there's.
I agree.
I think there's people that worked as hard as him. Nobody outworked him.
That's great. No, I mean, Jerry Rice, one of one.
What Steve Young said was
nobody else out there.
What Steve Young said about Jerry always resonated with me. He's like, we beat the Chargers. We won. He said it wasn't an easy game because no game was easy. He's like, but we
The outcome fairly early on.
And they put the brakes on in the fourth quarter.
Yes, they did.
Because they could have scored 60 points.
That's correct, easily.
Whatever they wanted to do.
Yes.
Because
there was that game. I mean, I can remember watching that game and going, there's no doubt who's winning this game.
Because Mike Shanahan was like, okay, if we see this defensive alignment, we're going to go to this and it'll be a touchdown. And Brent Jones is like, that's what happened.
Yes.
Like, he was like, oh, here's this, so we're going to run this play. Oh, that wasn't. Oh, thanks, Mike. I mean, like, it was that kind of game. And Steve Young threw 6 touchdowns, had a phenomenal game. But, so he said, we come back to San Francisco, and he said we had the parade and all that stuff. And he's like, and then like a week later, everybody's cleaning out their locker, and we're going to, take some time off or whatever. And he goes, I look out the window. He's like, I'm upstairs at the facility. I look out on the practice field, and there's Jerry Rice with an equipment guy running routes. And he's like, that's why that guy's the greatest, because it wasn't enough for him.
And that's like Jeter.
Yeah.
Did you know?
Yes.
Did you know Jeter almost got sent back down to AAA?
Yeah, I heard that.
His rookie season.
Yeah.
He was struggling, like his true first full year, because he did join him in that, I guess that was that 90, 95 year or whatever, and they did, anyway. They almost sent him AAA.
Yeah.
And Tony Fernandez, the second baseman, breaks his arm. And because of that, they didn't pull him.
Can you imagine?
And I know.
Can you imagine?
Oh, yeah. That's what they said. They said Jeter to AAA. You make some crazy trade for Mariano Rivera, because they were talking to the Mariners about trading Mo Rivera.
Yeah.
You have no dynasty.
El Duque.
And Hernandez. Yeah, and then you had El Duque. And then Joe Torre says, and then Derek Jeter showed up. And of course, he hits a home run like opening day.
And how is Joe Torre still not the manager for the Yankees?
I think that just kind of ran its course.
I love Joe Torre.
And I think that's just the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's just the nature of the way things went.
The guy's a baseball genius.
I know, but I think you just kind of run your course. In pro sports, it's like you just don't see it as much where somebody's there for 30 years is the only.
Yes, that's true.
It's just what happens.
I mean, I still remember being upset when Bill Walsh left.
Oh yeah.
It
just kind of ran its course.
And I'm like, and then,
of course, he didn't have anything else to prove. I mean, hello.
He didn't. And then, like, if you read his book, The Score Takes Care of Itself, which is a really good book. He actually died before they finished the book, but they still had like his interviews and everything.
Right. They were able to put it together.
But like he was such a perfectionist that he was like, what if I don't win another Super Bowl? I can't do this. And he would have won another Super Bowl the next year because they were the best team. I actually think that team, that 49ers team that beat the Broncos, in my mind, again, I am somewhat biased. I think that was the greatest team that's ever been put together.
85 Bears.
Could they have stopped that Niners team?
Yes. I believe, yes.
Really?
A healthy 85 Bears. Yes, that defense.
But I mean that Niners
for that 1 year,
and it wasn't even
Bears.
the Niners offense.
85
that
Bears.
Defense, they were like the number 3 defense in the NFL that year.
85 Bears.
I don't know. Would it be a great game? Absolutely.
Or the 2013 Broncos, because they had such a great defense that the Seahawks put up 43 points on. Anyway,
but I mean that Niners team was just I don't know how they didn't go undefeated either. They were 14-2, I think. But that team was, and again, Joe was hurt for part of the year, and Steve stepped in.
Didn't matter.
It just didn't matter.
I mean, Steve Young's a Hall of Fame quarterback too.
He's in my top 5 as well.
What? No. Oh no.
Steve?
Oh no.
He retired with the highest passer rating at the time of all time.
No.
At one point, he got up to a 107 passer rating. You don't think Steve Young's top 5? Right, let's hear it. Let's hear your top 5. And I'm going to throw up at your first one probably. But go ahead. Go ahead.
Now, okay. Are we talking about pure quarterback? Or are we talking about... What are we talking about?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Well, because I would still argue...
Yeah.
For purely the quarterback, I still think Peyton Manning is the greatest quarterback ever.
Okay.
Followed by Tom Brady. Now, Probably.
I threw up a little bit. I'm sorry.
Probably should be reversed on that. Probably should be reversed on that. So I get that. Number 3, and we're talking purely quarterback, right?
Okay.
Purely quarterback.
Okay.
Okay. I probably would have to go
Doug Flutie.
You want to talk about somebody that had a prolonged career? I mean, that's pretty amazing.
The Flutester man.
That's actually pretty amazing that he was able to last.
He had Flutie Flakes. They changed the name of the cereal.
They did. No, you're right. They did. I would probably. I think I would put. I think you could put Joe as number 3 easily.
Number 3.
I think
that's way low.
And then
I'm just saying that's way low.
And then,
I mean, just so you know, I mean, you're putting someone who won 2 Super Bowls,
yes,
and lost 2 ahead of someone who won 4.
But again, are we talking about quarterback position, or are we talking about like player? You see what I'm saying? Because like, I would not consider "quote unquote" Derek Jeter the best shortstop of all time, sort of thing. But in some circles, he would be number 1 as a winner.
Yeah.
So as a winner, I still have to give it to Tom Brady, but Joe Montana's number 2. And I know that makes you sick. It's hard. I'm just and I tell you what breaks it for me. He went to Tampa Bay and won another one, and if Joe wins with KC.
He almost did.
And he almost did. Then I think you in that era, I think that makes him undisputed. But the fact that Tom Brady went to Tampa Bay and won another one, I have to give it.
Let me ask you this. Clarifying question.
Yes.
Tom Brady, if you go back in time and you let him play in the same era that Joe played in,
fair. He's murdered in like week 2.
He just wouldn't make it.
Yes, I know. I think Peyton would because of the brain power.
Peyton was never the better athlete.
No, but he worked harder. No, and again, we're not talking pure athlete. No. Joe Montana's a better athlete than Peyton Manning. That's not what I'm saying.
I don't even know that.
No, I think no.
Peyton was a good athlete.
No,
but
dude, they're all good athletes because I mean,
granted, but I mean, you're you know. Peyton, his film study, his understanding of the game,
yes. He transcended the position of that at a time when it was.
Peyton was okay with throwing 4 completions in a game,
yes,
if it moved them down the field and get them in a better
position.
He did.
He would call, because he was calling the offense most of the time. Yeah. So Joe number 3.
Tom Brady's just a jackass. Jackass.
Joe number 3, maybe.
I'm not a Tom Brady fan. Just I don't think I've ever mentioned that.
I wasn't sure about that. Johnny Unitas. Is Johnny U's my number 4?
Yeah,
playing in a different era, but just Johnny U,
pure toughness,
pure toughness, pure football. Johnny U, and then honestly, I would probably put Drew Brees next.
Yeah.
And then I think Aaron Rodgers, and then you're probably into Steve Young as like number 7.
And Favre not in that top list.
He's in the top. He'd be 8. I'd put Favre as,
because like that guy from the toughness standpoint.
Again,
and some of that he's probably on opioids, but still.
I mean,
admittedly so. Right?
I think it was okay. What can we do to get you back in the game?
Yeah.
Because that's what we're going to have.
I mean, the guy broke his finger in like 4 places.
I watched
him out. They taped it up. He came back in to throw a touchdown to win the game.
I know. I remember that because he was shaking his finger.
Yeah.
Like he's like, something's wrong with my hand. He's like, oh my God. He's like freaking out, shaking it like he just burned himself. Yeah. And they just went in there and set it, taped it up, and then he came back in. I know.
And threw a touchdown.
I put Steve Young ahead of him.
I know. Well, you should be. Steve Young should be ahead of him.
So flip the table and who's your top 5?
The top 5?
Top 5 QBs. Yes, top 5. I know who number 1 is.
Number 1 is from Mcconaughey, Pennsylvania. And
number 16.
And it's Joseph, Montana. And here I mean, for me, if you look at the era, that Joe played in.
I get it.
And yes, he had Jerry Rice. Yes, he had John Taylor. He had Roger Craig. He had a defense. He had Brett Jones at tight end. He had Dwight Clark. He had Bill Walsh, who was a genius.
Yeah, but look at those Patriot teams.
Yeah,
you know? Look at those Colts teams. They had great players. You have to have it.
You have to have great players.
You have to have it, and a complete team. Say what you will, Patriots cheating this, that, and the other. they did have complete teams, and that's why they were able to win.
They did, and cheating.
Right. And I don't love them.
Bastards.
Like I said,
I hate the Patriots.
I do too.
I'm good with 31 teams in the NFL. Let's just get rid of one.
Mac Jones, year 2.
Let Bob Kraft go down and, go to his...
I know where you're...
Go down to Florida.
Stop.
And get a massage.
Quit.
Whatever he's doing down there. Whatever Bob's doing down there.
I think they knew what he was doing. It was on tape.
Yeah.
Whoops. Anyway, so top five. Joseph Montaigne. Joe Montaigne.
Joe's number 1. Of all time.
Steve's number 2.
No, Steve's not number 2.
Oh, I'm a little surprised by that, honestly.
Who is number 2? Who would be number 2? Phil Simms. Just kidding.
Wow.
I'm kidding. I'm joking. Phil's not in there.
Yeah, no.
Number 1 because I just don't like him.
He has some pretty amazing hair, though.
Who's number 2? Can Joe take number 1 and 2?
Oh, no. Shoot.
So, number 2 for me, it might have to be Elway. Again, I'm judging this on when they played and how tough they had to be when they played, because I think it's changed.
Then I would put Elway at number 5 instead of Drew Brees and kind of bump, and then probably flip flop, put Steve at like 6, and kind of back it up.
Because at the time that some of these guys played,
Steve and then Favre and then probably Brees, back to 8.
You couldn't just be the quarterback that was married to a supermodel. You had to be a tough person. And listen, you're not playing football in general if you're not a level of toughness.
Right.
You're not playing college football without a level of toughness, and you're not playing pro football without a level of toughness.
Right.
It's not to say that these guys aren't tough, but you can't touch quarterbacks anymore. And that's because of Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. Specifically Tom Brady, jackass. He got, he went out for a year, and they changed all the rules. Mm-hmm. And somewhere Carson Palmer's going, what? Really?
1 year too late. Thanks,
really?
guys.
Thanks. I was probably going to win a Super Bowl. And great quarterback, great guy, and that team was a great team. And I think they probably would have won a Super Bowl, but he was hurt like on the first play of that game.
Yep.
So I would probably put Elway number 2, just from pure toughness.
I'd go with that.
And I think I would put Favre at 3, based on that same thing. Drew Brees wouldn't be in my top 5.
Not based on your scale, no. You can't put him in there.
Marino,
of course, he did come back from like a devastating shoulder injury, and they didn't ever think he'd throw again.
He did,
and he's like 5'9".
I know. I mean, he's still taller than me. Jackass.
That's pretty impressive.
Listen,
no, but I get it. Elway and Favre definitely. You got to put them higher up in the.
Joe got his wrist broken, got his back broken,
multiple concussions.
Most of them by the New York Giants.
Right.
Really.
Right.
That's So, Joe, John, probably Favre. God, who would be 4th? I'd probably have to go back to like Johnny U or something like some of those guys. It's just tougher than nails.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, different era. They didn't throw it like they did, but if you watch what he did,
and I would put Steve at 5. And there's a lot of reasons I'd put Steve at 5. Number 1 is because of the jersey that he wore. But here's a guy who went to the USFL. Yeah. He almost won the Heisman. People just totally forget that he almost won the Heisman playing for Brigham Young.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know how good you have to be?
But that was bad. They had some offense, man.
They did, but it's Brigham Young. They ain't winning a national championship.
Jim McMahon went to Brigham Young.
Well,
Ty Dittmer, who won the Heisman.
So Jim McMahon, funny enough, because Steve was his backup, and Steve said that, he always threw a football a certain way, and he's like, he was practicing with Jim McMahon. He goes, how are you turning the ball? And he said that changed his career. Steve's like, oh, now I can just put the ball right there instead of whatever. Very good book, by the way. My Life Behind the Spiral from Steve Young, by the way. It's a really good book.
Look at you dropping promos left and right.
That's right. This episode brought to you by the San Francisco 49ers.
Poor Jim McMahon wrote, "Is my head hurting today?"
He gets something drained.
Yes,
like once a month.
Fluid.
Yeah, and he was like,
no, he got hurt bad.
Yeah,
he got hurt bad.
And there's a tough guy. He'd probably be in my top 10 because there's a tough guy. Because if you played for Ditka,
it's bad.
I watched Ditka drag him off the field one time.
Yeah,
he didn't just say get off the field. He dragged
again. Different era. Those guys.
Era.
They're playing all kinds of screwed up. Yeah.
And so not to just drag this out, Brady would definitely be in my top 10 because he has to be.
Understand.
I mean, he's won 106
Is
Super Bowls.
Peyton in your top 10?
Of course he is.
Okay.
Of course he is. Peyton's up. Peyton, I can make an argument for Peyton being in my top 5. Number one, because I like him. I just like him. And what he did for football is bigger than anything he ever did on the field. Like just what he's done for football.
I mean, that's true. That's true.
He's helped prolong and make other people love a sport that I love too. So that's a big deal to me. He made other people around him better, and he just wanted to win. He was a Derek Jeter. He just wanted to win. He didn't care.
He did not enjoy the level of winning success. I mean, in terms of Super Bowls, you know.
Right.
Now they should have won that one against the Saints.
Oh God.
I mean, what a mess. I mean, Hank Basket, drops that onside kick, and that was the end of the game. Like they just deflated him. But they should have won that game.
They definitely should have won.
So he should have had 3 rings, in my opinion. Of course, then again, if he wins that, they may not trade him from Indy, and then you don't know what happened.
I can tell you right now that Seahawks game, though, when they lost that Super Bowl so badly, honestly, I think if that first snap didn't go that way, that would have been a different game.
Yeah. Oh, it just deflated him.
It just,
I mean, it just shocked him.
People were scared of that defense anyway, and the only team equipped to even play that defense was the 49ers, and that's just because they're in the same division.
Agreed.
That was the only team that was like there. And Pete Carroll even said, "Hey, we geared this team to beat the 49ers."
Yeah,
because we knew that was the only team that could compete with us. Because Jim Harbaugh he's old school football.
That's it. That's right.
So yeah, Peyton would be in there. Tom Brady, jackass. I don't. Marino's not in my top 10, and I know he broke a ton of records, and he's Peyton Manning's favorite quarterback. As a matter of fact, is Danny Marino. But here's a guy who made it to one Super Bowl and got his butt kicked by the guy who's number 1 on my list,
and never made it back. Agreed.
And complained his entire career. I don't have anybody to throw it to. Here's some receivers. I don't have a runner, so here's some running backs. Here's a guy that just, in my mind, complained his entire career.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So
I mean, I don't think he's not in my top 10 either. No, he's really not.
I know he's a Hall of Fame quarterback, and
no doubt.
Great athlete, and a guy who could throw the ball harder maybe than just about anybody.
Quick release, yeah,
accurate.
And I love Dan Marino growing up. I mean, like I said, Dan Marino and John Elway were my people.
Yeah,
and it just no, but I would put Elway in my top 10, no doubt.
Here's a different list. Let's say all these guys are in a fist fight. Who wins?
Oh,
Favre wins the fist fight.
I was going to say probably you probably have to pick Favre because he's
going to win the fist fight.
And he probably has some brass knuckles in his glove box. He just
had a shotgun.
He just gets out and he's like, "Yeah, that's it, boys. It's on now." Maybe Johnny U.
That's true.
Just from being old school, and I mean they just brawled. But no, probably Favre. I'm
trying to think of who might win a fist fight if all the players in the NFL all the top players all got together.
Gosh,
Ray Lewis would, because he'd carry a weapon.
I like Ray Lewis. Despite this, I know
that guy. He's a felon. He may not be a felon now, but he was a felon.
And I think that's part of why I like him. I do think
because he's a felon.
No, because I think whatever happened, and we'll never know.
No, we won't. We'll never know.
if you really look at the rest of his career, boy, he stayed out of trouble.
He did.
And so you kind of have to respect that in the sense of, okay, whatever happened. You at least learned your lesson.
He did. That's
that you shouldn't have been doing or been wherever you were at. It's like Jeter was talking about when P. Diddy and J-Lo were out at some club in New York and there was a shooting and it was part of P. Diddy's posse. Derek Jeter was supposed to go out and be a part of that club, whatever. Right. And he told the guy that he was with, that was friends with Diddy, he said, I'm gonna go home and go to bed. And literally he said that we missed going to that by about 20 minutes.
Yeah. And
he would have been all over the news and in trouble with the rest of them.
Well, it's like Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
They'd party in Florida after games and he'd go back to his dorm room.
Yeah.
That's watch TV.
Yeah, but Jeter partied. Jeter partied. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
no.
The difference was like it was just one of those fate things where he was able to avoid it because he's like, I'm not going to go tonight, and it's just fortunate they didn't.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, we really took a sideways turn. We were talking about the lottery,
but we love. Well, I mean,
it's almost football
NFL
season.
lottery. It's almost
I know.
Season. Well, if you can't tell, folks, I mean, we're just really chomping at the bit to get something going here with that because I mean that'll be endless material.
I know.
Lots of rants coming. Please stay tuned.
Since I know you're on a time constraint, so we have some other stuff to talk about, but I do want to. So let me ask. So you and I talked before the podcast on talking about we nobody wants to work anymore.
Yes.
I also wrote the HOA here as well, or an update on the GI doctor.
I think we need to. I think we need to get an update on the GI because that's pretty fresh, and then the other stuff we can hold that.
Okay.
Because yes.
So if you didn't listen last week, and if you didn't, shame on you, and go back and listen.
I mean,
so
why are you not?
We're gonna get. I'll pause here for a second to give you time to listen. Okay. So last week we talked about the GI doctor and how they're gonna fire me as a patient. Because I'm a terrible patient and there's lots of no-shows.
I almost said you were a menopause, but I didn't. I wasn't quick enough to get that sucker out. Get that sucker out anyway. Sorry.
So I've had a week to think about it.
Yes.
And I know you and I talked about it.
We did
on air and off air.
We did.
And
we did.
I first of all, I do appreciate the fact that you're concerned about my health. I mean, you actually are.
Oh yes.
You're not just you are concerned about my health.
Yes.
And
yeah,
so,
man, because I said if you go down, the podcast is over.
That's right.
Got to keep you up, man. Got to give you the uppers and the downers. I mean, it's kind of like Johnny Cash. What do we give him? Take this and you can drive all the way.
Oh, by the way, I was drinking one of these like a couple weeks ago or whatever, and somebody said, "Man, are you drinking a Budweiser?" Like, it's a monster. Just so you folks know. Somebody asked me that. They're like, "Man, what are you drinking?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm getting blitzed."
We're waiting for football season.
We're waiting for football season. So
update.
So I've had a week to think about it.
Yes.
And I thought about both things. So the path of least resistance, of course, is to just go do it, right?
Right.
And then the other side of my brain is the principle of the matter, because I don't like being accused of things that I did not do.
Yes.
There's a lot of things I do and you can accuse me of, and I 100%
understand. Right.
I am not a perfect person. I'm pretty close. But not.
Oh Lord, it's hard to be humble when you're perfect in every way.
That's right.
I can't wait to look in the mirror. I get better looking each day.
I live my life.
To know me is to love me. I must be a hell of a man. Oh Lord, it's hard to be humble, but I'm doing the best that I can.
I live my life like Joe Montana.
Oh my goodness.
The greatest that's ever played. So I thought about it to myself, and I was talking to myself. I said, self.
Yes, yes.
I said, self.
Yes.
Number one, how bad is the situation?
Right.
Like, and it's not. So I had Lindsay was talking about this all the time. I had a couple of bad days, but in full disclosure, if I don't take my acid reflux meds for a couple of days, if I miss 2 days, it takes 4 days to kind of like get back to it. It really does. I mean, that's just the truth. And the timing of the acid reflux meds too, right? Like I need to take it before I eat dinner and before bed. So all this stuff. So when I'm not good at doing that,
then it
gets worse.
It gets worse. That makes sense.
So this week I've been really good. Taking them every night and doing them so I haven't had any issues at all, right?
Good.
Now, do I need to get the procedure done? Yes. Am I going to allow these folks to do it? Hell no.
Decision made.
Yeah, I'm going to write a letter.
Oh crap! I think I did. Is your camera okay?
Yeah, you're good. You just knocked the shit out of everything.
I think I jiggled. Yeah, sorry. Homie, don't play that Damon Wayans.
So
in living color.
So I'm going to write a letter and send it to them. And so when I write the letter, I will read it. I'll read it on the podcast so everybody can hear it.
Yes.
I will. I'll redact any names.
Yes.
For your benefit,
to protect the innocent.
For your benefit.
Was that Dragnet? Was that Dragnet?
Yes.
Yes.
Dragnet.
That's it. Okay.
Joe Friday.
That's it.
Dan Aykroyd in the movie.
Yes.
The movie was funny with Tom Hanks and Dan Aykroyd.
Yes.
But for your benefit, I will not say their name. And I'm being very serious, like completely your benefit, because I know you work with them, you're a doctor, and everything. I understand that circle that you're in.
The collegial environment.
Because otherwise, I would completely say their name.
Understand.
100%.
Again.
This GI doctor, they're all professionals, and they have lots of associates. So, but I will not say their name. Okay? There's lots of associates.
That sure is a nice table out there that you got from the place, the furniture store in Knoxville that sells at a wholesale price.
Yeah, it is. It's a nice table.
Took a minute to get there. Yes.
It did take a minute for the wholesale folks in Knoxville.
Understand. That's it.
That sells furniture to get there, and just like these GI doctors, that they're all professionals, because they are. They're medical professionals that do GI stuff, and GI means gastrointestinal.
Intestinal.
Intestinal. That's right. It's not internal. Right?
Yeah. Well, it is internal.
It is internal.
But gastrointestinal.
Gastrointestinal. And they're professional, and there's a lot of associates.
That's it.
It's a big practice, and they make a lot of money. Guess whose money they're not going to get anymore? I couldn't do it. The principle of the matter, it's like I just can't do it. So my letter to them is going to be saying I resign as a patient, because I just can't do it. It's the principle. I just can't get past it. I just can't. And part of it, I'm kind of a jackass too. So I get it, but
little rough around the edges.
It's just the principle of the thing. When you tell me, when you're saying no show, if they said, hey, listen, we've tried to schedule this, you've you haven't scheduled it, or you've canceled, can we get you in or whatever? And like that's a conversation I'm willing to have. But when you say no show, it just didn't take place.
Yeah, I understand.
So, they'll get a letter from me, and they won't care, because they've got 1 million patients, and that's a machine, and Dr. X will never know, and that's fine. But I will feel better about it.
Well, and I think that's important, because it is your health.
Right.
And we do want to collaborate with patients on their health. It is important. Now, when I say that, the kicker on that is, keep in mind, theoretically, there's a fund of knowledge that's there by the person that had to go to school for a really, really long time.
100%.
And I know you know this, but sometimes we get this, and it's like, yeah, but I know you read WebMD, but you didn't go to medical school and go to, you didn't spend at least 7 years going through this.
Right.
And you still have to be respectful,
Sure.
unless somebody's cussing you out or whatever. And it's like, yeah, all this is off the table now, because you're not going to talk to me.
Right. Right.
Which has not happened in a long time. That's not something that, but anyway, but no, I think from a patient standpoint for you, I think that is important, so that you can have the closure with that, and then of course we will work with you to get you set up, with a different professional to take care of that.
I've got a hose out back if you just want to do it after the podcast.
We're not going to waterboard you by accident. It's just not going to happen.
Lindsay, I'm sorry, I killed Dave. But first of all, he asked for it. Number one. Number two. The water hose just went awry. He's in the backyard with a water hose hanging out of his mouth. But yeah, I really thought about it, because I do need to get the procedure done. I even have a friend, Anna, who like has it in her calendar when it's time for me to get it done, and she starts texting me like, have you got this done because you need to get it done?
Because you're due.
And I know I need to get it done. I know it's the right thing, but
it is just to keep you safe.
100%. And
we'll work through that. But no, I get it. I totally get it. And,
I just can't do it.
Well, and it does. It has messed up, the physician-patient relationship.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've even had that happen with patients. I mean, sometimes, doesn't happen often. Thank you, Lord. I try my very best. Sometimes there's miscommunication on stuff. And I've had patients that they're just like, doc, it's not so much you, but this office, where there's a miscommunication here. We're just not comfortable anymore. And we support that. And we say, no, we totally get it, and they will go see somebody else. Like I said, fortunately, I can think of, I'm in my 9th year there. This is my 12th year practicing medicine. 3 cases.
Yeah,
and that's pretty good, but it's still. But I still think about them because it bothers me.
Of course,
you know what I mean. So I mean, of all the, and I've got over 2,000 patients that I take care of. So 3 instances that I can really think of.
But one favorite.
But they, of course,
but one favorite.
Of course, it's you. Of course,
one favorite.
Yes.
Come on.
There's no doubt. It's not even close. It's not even close. Just kidding. Just kidding. Another 1,999 patients. Just kidding.
Pissed off 1,900 patients.
Just kidding. Everybody's my favorite. I'm just kidding. But but it does. But the difference, I will say, because you were kind of alluding to that, and I'm not the only doc that feels this way. There's other docs it does bother them when that happens.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And so
sure.
I literally, I can still think about these instances, and I mean, I can say, I can name them. I can see the people.
This guy's not going to care.
And I don't know, I don't know Dr. X. I mean, we talked about this last night, so I can't speak to that.
But you get the situation. He doesn't care.
I totally get it. No, I get it. I get it.
This dude's rolling in it.
I get it. Dude.
Rolling it,
brother. I get it.
And I like him. Like the conversations I've had with him, like we get along really well. Like he's got a good sense of humor. When I've said things like, "Hey, after this, how much pain are we talking about?" And he's like, "Well, no pain at all." And I'm like, "Well, I'm going to need some meth." And he thought it was hilarious. He's like, yeah. He said we write prescriptions for meth all the time, and he even made like a Walter White joke or something. So I mean, the guy's funny, right? Like he's
pretty good.
He's a funny guy,
right. But
and I like him. But their practice can go straight to hell because it's not a no show. They can just I don't care if they go out of business. I don't care. So this whole world is a give and take, right? Everything's give and take, right?
Yes.
I go to the gas station, I put gas in my car, I have to pay for the gas. It's a transaction. Everything's a transaction. And if I go and I put gas in my car and they overcharge me, they're bad, right? They did something wrong.
Correct.
So this is a transactional thing. I have lived up to my obligations. I don't owe them any money. I have paid them plenty of money to do this. Not just through the insurance that I have to pay for, but also just the cash you got to come up with. It's $1,000 to go get it done, which is fine. Thankfully, I'm in a position that's not a big deal for.
No, understand. Right. No, I get all that.
It's not like I'm not. Right. I'm not borrowing money from the neighbor.
Right.
Or something.
Nugget still has food to eat.
Nuggets
and everything.
Nuggets still.
Everything's all good.
Nuggets eating whatever the hell he's eating.
Right. He's eating.
I'm putting a kid in college and all this. I mean, like, we're
totally.
It's not a financial. It's not impactful financially.
Right. Yes.
But it's just the fact that like they said, hey, when you come, it's $1,000. Okay, here's $1,000. Okay, we want to see you on this day. Okay.
I'll be there.
I'm going to put this down your throat on this day. Okay. I need you to lay here. Okay. I'm going to put this needle in you. Okay. I will pass out. And they said, okay. And they know, and like, they even know that now. And they like sit on the side of the bed while they're doing, and like one of them holds my hand because she knows I'm going to pass out. So they take care of me. It's not that. It's when you tell me I didn't show up.
Right.
Then you could just go to hell. Like I just don't care anymore. Like so that's the part of me that won when I was debating this.
I get it.
And I'm like, and Lindsay's not excited about this decision. And she said, Doc's not going to be excited about this either. He's going to tell you need to go get it done. I'm like, I know, I just can't get past it. It's we were going to talk about people that don't like to work and stuff like this. And it falls into, some of that falls into, there's a guy that was supposed to come that was recommended to me by somebody to come do some electrical work in the shed and all this because that's going to be my computer lab. I texted him, didn't hear anything for like 2 days. He finally said, "Hey, sorry, I was busy. I didn't text you back." Okay, cool. He's like, "I'd love to come out and take a look, where you guys live." And I texted him, and nothing. And then I texted him back, and I'm like, "Do you still want to do this? Because I want to get this done. If you don't want to do it, just tell me you don't want to do it." And then he doesn't even reply to that. I'm like, I'm a big principle kind of guy.
I understand.
And I can put up with a lot of stuff.
I understand. But no, I got you. No, and I think you got to be comfortable with where you're headed, whatever whatever avenue that is, whether it's your health or your job or your kids or your marriage or whatever. And so I think in this case it is a principle thing, and I think this for you long term the best thing, safest thing is to move on, and that's I get it. So now from a health standpoint, yes, because we're overdue to get this done. So it does concern me.
Sure.
And so from that standpoint, that's what I'm the most concerned about. But I mean, we can work on this to get this worked out.
Yeah.
So we'll do that.
Yeah, and so I'm going to send them a letter. And once I do the letter, I will read it for everybody because I think that'll be fun. Because I like writing my letters. I put a lot of effort into them and a lot of time.
No, right. It's right. There's thought and right.
And it's not going to be F you.
No,
love
understand.
Dave.
Right. No. This is a professional written letter to explain the situation, just as if you were writing something from a business standpoint.
Yes.
No, totally get it.
And I'm gonna and I'll say I'm hereby resigning as your patient.
Yes.
I will no longer use your practice.
Yes.
Please disengage with Doc. Don't call him anymore. And and that's one of the things I am going to point out is like this communication never came from them. This communication came from your office from them. That's ridiculous. That's just unacceptable to me. And I know it's unacceptable for you, but that's not how that's supposed to work.
Yeah.
I understand you're the primary care physician, but that's their office's job.
It's a tricky, and I still don't. Usually they're pretty blunt. I don't know. That it's still that's the part. It's still very odd. I don't know what happened there, because usually they're like, "Hey, it's going to be difficult to continue our relationship if you don't come in." I mean, I've seen those letters, and they go to the patient. So that's why I'm not sure. I don't like that. That's odd. That is an outlier to me, because usually it comes directly to you. And in this case, it actually came more through us being like, "Hey, this is the way." And I'm like,
here's in my head, this is what I was thinking about. I'm thinking, let's say we're talking about, let me think of a restaurant. Let's say we're talking about the Red Lobster.
Oh yeah, the dead lobster.
The dead lobster. So we're talking about Red Lobster. So let's say I call on Wednesday and say, "Hey, I've got a party of 10 coming on Saturday," and then I call on Thursday and say, "Hey, that changed. Please cancel that." And Red Lobster sending me a letter that says, "You can't eat here anymore." To me, I understand that's a restaurant and this is a doctor's office, but it's that level of ridiculousness.
Yeah,
I canceled something. I didn't just not. I mean, they weren't standing there going, "I don't know where he's at. I'm here with the hose.
Right.
Where's he at?"
Right. Which does happen. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. It does.
Of course it does.
I mean, I had somebody just straight up not come on Friday, and I was like, really? I could have worked in, because it was a new patient.
Yeah.
Don't know anything about them. Don't know their status, and
it wasn't somebody we sent there, was it?
No. And they just didn't come, and I was like, man, with the demand that we have, I could have put two people on that schedule, but see, we give them a 15-minute kind of grace period,
sure,
because sometimes people get in traffic and stuff happens, so it's like, okay, you got 15 minutes beyond your appointment, okay. I don't know that we should do that or not, but that's what we've done, because stuff that we understand stuff does happen. So
I'm there 40 minutes early.
Oh, I know,
just
dude.
So you know.
Oh, I see you arrived, and I'm like, I don't know what he's doing. He's making up stuff for the podcast. Who knows? But we do it. So by the time that happens, if they don't come in that 15-minute window,
yeah,
you can't just call somebody and be like, "Hey, run down here real quick now and let's get you in." So It's like call and cancel, which you did. Call and cancel, and then I can call two people that might be on our waiting list, and they probably could come in at this time. That's the only thing that upsets me. I'm like, hey, I get stuff happens and you can't make it, but canceling does help, because guess what? We put somebody else in that slot.
Right. And these people, let me tell you,
who needed to be seen. It's not like I'm just going to make something up. To, you see what I'm saying?
And these people, let me tell you something.
know.
It's a machine there. We talked about it last week, but I mean, they ain't hurting for money, and they can go straight to hell. Straight to hell. I'm done with them. And that's that's how I get. And once I come to that decision, and here's the thing. I'm never going to recommend anybody go there.
Understand?
Because I just can't. I just can't ethically do that anymore. And like, when I was there, did they treat me well? They certainly did. They treated me like a baby, which is what I need to be treated like, because that's how I act. But when you tell me I did something that I didn't do,
I understand.
And then it's one thing to say, "Hey, you've had some no-shows." I'm like, "No, I haven't." Okay, well, whatever. But they went a step further to say, "Well, you can't be our patient anymore if you keep no-showing." Oh, let me tell you, I just can't.
I get it. No, and I think you're doing the best thing. The best thing is we're not comfortable. We got to move on.
Yeah,
that's it.
I mean, unless they hire Carrie Underwood as a nurse, then I'm back. I'm back on. High five and in. Boop. I'm there. Carrie, I feel a little weak. Can I lay in your arms for just a bit?
Maybe next time he'll think before he cheats.
See, that's not technically cheating.
Because
Lindsay and I have had this conversation. Matthew McConaughey is her one out, right? And Carrie Underwood's mine.
I gotcha.
So that's understandable.
So Lindsay likes the bongos.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, if I called and said,
all right,
"Hey, honey,
all right.
I won't be home tonight because I met Carrie Underwood," it'd be like, "Okay, you get one night." Carrie Underwood.
Oh,
I get it.
There you go.
And Matthew McConaughey's Lindsay's.
There it is. Because that's her dude.
Yeah, that's her dude.
All right.
He's a little out there now, but
he's like 50-something years old.
But I mean, like, he's in politics. He's not in politics. He's making speeches, and like, I don't, dude. Just be an actor and be done with it, right?
He's more than just an actor.
Of course he is. Of course he is.
More than an athlete. More than an actor.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm.
That was me seeing what you'd say about LeBron with me. No, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. The rant on.
No, you don't even want to get me started there. I will say Matthew McConaughey, True Detective, the first season of True Detective.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I think it's some of the best work he ever did. Him and Woody Harrelson.
Yes.
And Michelle, I can't remember her last name, who I've had a crush on for like
Moynihan?
20 years.
No.
Yeah.
Moynihan. Yeah, Moynihan.
Like 20 years. Like,
yeah.
She's just gorgeous.
Yeah.
But she's great. I mean, if you have True Detective, the second season was good. The third, I haven't finished it, but that first season with McConaughey and Woody Harrelson is unbelievable. It's like 10 episodes. It's like an hour each, but it is unbelievable. If you haven't watched it, highly recommend that.
Another promo.
Another promo brought to you by HBO.
On your wife's crush.
Hubbo. Yeah.
Hubbo.
Yeah, I like it. I'd still watch him. I don't care. As long as Carrie Underwood happens.
He's a pretty good looking guy.
He is. He is good looking. And
he's getting older. He's getting older though.
As am I.
As am I.
46.
It's okay.
I'm the big 4-6.
Okay. It's all right. I know, man.
I'm so old.
I know.
I'm getting old.
Not really.
I don't feel old though.
Don't need to.
I really don't.
Age is nothing but a number.
That's right. That's absolutely right. And my number's 46.
Well, folks,
and we base that on a scale from.
That's right.
What's the life expectancy now?
It's like 78.
78?
Yeah, 78.
What do you think? What do you think my chances are?
Oh, you got it.
You think so?
You got it. Yep.
You think really?
Yep. Just get your scope.
That's it. It's all contingent on getting the tube down my throat.
That's it. That's it.
It's all contingent.
That's it. We got to get it.
It's all contingent on that.
Thank you, America. Thank you, Canada. Thank you, Germany. We're back, and thank you. We had 2 episodes in a row. We're getting it hot.
This is
because football season's getting closer.
Show 27 and show 28 will definitely have some football because football officially starts next week.
How about that?
On Thursday.
Yes.
The Jacksonville Jaguars and the Las Vegas Raiders.
The Raiders. Like it.
2 teams that don't know who their coach is. And,
okay. It's okay.
And are probably not going to win a game.
It's okay.
That's okay.
It's okay. They're playing each other.
That's right. And I'll watch it.
It'll be a slobber knocker.
From a high school football stadium. I love it.
It's good. That's right.
Canton, Ohio.
Isn't that pretty cool?
It is cool. I love it. I think that's really neat. Hey, so by the way,
Continue to listen. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google,
look at you.
Overcast, Undercast, MyCast, Doodoo-Cast, Stitcher, iHeartRadio,
Spotify,
Pandora, Alexa,
Tune in, Alexa.
Tune in, Alexa.
Podcast Addict, Pocket Cast, Overcast, and of course on YouTube.
You can see
You
us.
can view the podcast
And break your screen.
which a lot of people are doing.
It's okay.
I don't know why.
We like it. Dig it. Thank you,
and
America.
Of course, and also, the easiest way to hear it and see it is, of course, to go to the website.
Yes.
That's DaveDoc.com. That's Dave, AND.DOC.com.
Thank you.
And that's it.
See you. Bye. Next week.
See you, folks. Have a good one.
Bye.
We love you.
Love you.
We
Much.
love you. Joe Montana, we love you.